starting on Rumble. Hello, good morning. Welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is about what happened to date throughout the annals of recorded history, starting with, what do we have for October 26th, good Sir King?
740, an earthquake strikes Constantinople, causing damage to the city and buildings.
Dang. Oh. Alright. 1185?
1185.
Is the music even playing? Okay, yeah, it is.
I don't hear anything.
Well, I can barely hear it. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay. 1185 here, we have the uprising of Asen and Peter began on the feast day of Saint Demetrius of Thessaloniki and ended with the creation of the Second Bulgarian Empire. All right. That's pretty big there. And then the Byzantine Civil War of 1341 to 47 formally began with the proclamation of John VI Cantacozenos as Byzantine Emperor. Whoops. So, 1366, Comet 55P 1366 U1. The Temple Turtle approached at 0.0229 astronomical units of Earth. So at some point between, the Sun and the Earth, that's one astronomical unit, and this is 2/100ths of an astronomical unit, which sounds pretty close to me. Here we go. So we have it up here. It fits the classical definition of Halley-type comet with a period of between 20 and 200 years, yada yada yada. 1866 perihelion. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna add this in the underbar section here. So yeah. Comet Temple Tuttle. And then we'll just put the link there. All right. That'll work. What else do we got here? 1377.
1377, Trictkol first was crowned the first king of Bosnia.
Oh, okay. So a little bit of Bosnian history, maybe not Serbian, Serbian, Bosnian, they're usually kind of put together. I'm not sure if they are the same people or not, or if one came out. I don't know. I don't know all of history. So, but what else do we got here?
1387, Amsterdam buccaneer Herman of Breen signed a loyalty vow for peace.
I'm trying to find that, but all I have are two links, and they're both they're both on this day. So that's not going to tell us anything more than what we already got, because we used on this day as our main source. 1407. Oh, here we go again.
Mobs attacked Jewish community of Krakow.
All right, why? Okay, let's see here. We have a history of the Jews in Poland, so now I got to be specific and find 1407. Okay. Accusations of blood libel by another fanatic priest led to the riots in Krakow in 1407. Although the royal guard hastened to the rescue, hysteria caused by the Black Death led to additional Okay, so that's another example there. So this is just based off of an accusation by a priest. All right, I don't know what to say. 1492, while Columbus was sailing the ocean blue, what else happened?
Lead graphite pencils, lead graphite pencils first used.
All right, pretty cool. I have a few of them right here. Oh, here's a pencil.
Ooh.
Yeah, I can even do the trick here. Oh, it's made of rubber.
Ooh, how is he doing it?
Magic man. Oh.
Oh.
1520, Charles V was crowned as Holy Roman Emperor. I believe that Charles V is a very historical figure. That name is in my head, specifically the fifth. So, half a millennia ago, 1524, Spanish troops gave Milan to France. Okay. So it used to be Milan, France. You know, isn't Milan in southern France? Where is Milan? Where is Milan? Milan, a city in northern Italy. Okay, so now it's Italian. Okay, so it would have been southern France, and that's around the area of Spain. So the Spanish, the Spain could have been bigger back in the day. I don't know the old historical maps, so I'm more of a generalized historian. When it comes to anything really more specific, that's when I start to trail off because, well, until I learn some things. So. But that's going to require some digging, which I'll probably do after the show. But as for now, moving on up to 1597, during the Imjin War, Korean Admiral Yi Sun-sin routed the Japanese Navy of 300 ships with only 13 of his own at the Battle of Mayon. That's crazy, dude. He took on 300 ships with 13. That is bananas. Oh. 1640, the Treaty of Ripon was signed, restoring peace between Covenanter Scotland and King Charles I of England. This resulted in the calling of the Long Parliament, which substantially curtailed the powers of the English monarchy. That's pretty significant right there. 1674, Prince William of Orange occupied Grave after a siege. What does that mean? He died? Like, he occupied a grave, He occupied his grave. I know it's the name of a town or whatever, but yeah, you gotta have fun sometimes. 1682, William Penn accepted area around Delaware River from Duke of York, the founder of Pennsylvania. Yeah. 1689, General Aeneas Silvio Piccolomini of Austria burnt down the Skopje to prevent the spread of cholera, only to die of the disease himself soon afterwards. I apologize. I don't mean to make light of somebody dying with unintentional, it's just the friggin' name just triggered something in my brain that I had to obey. I listened to my voices. 1749, Georgia colony reversed itself and ruled slavery legal. Ugh. That ain't good right there. What the hell, Georgia? Don't listen to early Kyler. 1774, First Continental Congress adjourned in Philadelphia. All right. 1774 as well, Minutemen organized in the U.S. colonies, and they were called Minutemen because, when somebody came knocking on their door, they usually got ready within a minute. They had everything set up and ready. It's just a grab and go, 2 years later, Benjamin Franklin departed for France on a mission to seek French support for the American Revolution. Thank God he was successful. 1795, the Directory, a 5-man revolutionary government of France, was created. Alright, well, let's take a quick look at that article to see if we'll get anything. And we did. French Directory. What is this? It was a governing 5-member committee of the French First Republic from October 25th, 1795, for Brumaire and for until November of 1799, so for about 4 years, when it was overthrown by Napoleon Bonaparte in the coup of 18 Brumaire and replaced by the consulate. In mainstream historiography, the term Directoire is also used to refer to the period, i.e. from the dissolution of the National Convention by October 25th, 1795 to Napoleon's coup d'etat, coinciding with the final 4 years of the French Revolution. Alright, so, this is pretty cool. Let me just add this to the underbar section. The Directoire. There we go. Alright. What else do we got here? Moving on up to 1813, during the War of 1812, a combined force of British regulars, Canadian militia, and Mohawks defeated the United States Army in the Battle of Chateauguay. Yep, that happened. 1822, King Wilhelm I required inhabitants of Brussels to use Dutch language. Okay. Brussels is not in the Netherlands, is it? It's their own country. They're next to the Netherlands. That's kind of oppressive right there, 2 centuries ago, 1824, first presidential election in United States history where the popular vote was important, with 18 states choosing presidential electors by popular votes. Andrew Jackson won the most votes but was short of a majority, forcing a contention election in the House of Representatives, which John Quincy Adams won. voting is weird, bro. You know, it almost kind of makes the popular votes moot. So. 1825, Erie Canal between Hudson River and Lake Erie opened, allowing direct passage between the two. And the Erie Canal, pretty historical. 1830, Belgian rebels occupied Antwerp. Okay. I'm going to look that up here. Why? Was there some kind of well, obviously, they're rebels. There's some kind of revolution maybe going on. Belgian Revolution. Well, there you go. Conflict which led to the secession of the southern provinces, mainly the former southern Netherlands, from the United Kingdom of the Netherlands, and the establishment of an independent kingdom of Belgium. Oh, okay. The people of the south were mainly Flemings and Walloons. Both people were traditionally Roman Catholic, as contrasted with Protestant-dominated or Dutch Reformed people from the north. Many outspoken liberals regarded King William I's rule as despotic. There were high levels of unemployment and industrial unrest among the working classes. Well, that would cause it. So, yep. Part of the revolutions of 1830. So, when did Belgium become a country? When did Belgium become a country? It must have been way before this, because Belgium, was... Okay, so... the French Revolutionary Wars led to Belgium becoming part of France in 1795. Let's see here. For much of its history, what is now Belgium was either part of a larger territory, such as the Carologian Empire, or divided into a number of smaller states, prominent among them being the Duchy of Lower Lorraine, the Duchy of Brabant, the County of Flanders. We're reaching a lot into Belgium. I gotta keep on going here. 1850, Robert McClure sighted the fabled Northwest Passage for the first time from Banks Islands towards Melville Island. And I'm sorry if anybody was as interested as I was about figuring out when Belgium was really a thing. It's one of the older countries. I know that they were around way before World War I, but I don't know exactly when. But you guys have the internet. You can look it up yourself. I'm here to tell you what happened today, not the history of Belgium specifically. 1858, Hamilton Smith patented rotary washing machine in Pittsburgh. Ooh, that sounds pretty cool. Let's take a look at this here, if there's any pictures. I want to see. Oh, okay, yeah. So the mangle, it is a rotary thing. I mean, maybe with this bucket, it spun around. No, it doesn't look. No, the bucket looks stationary. But yeah, no, you have to hand wash your clothes, Oh, here we go. Automatic washing machine in 1858. Okay, well, let's see if this gives me a better picture here. Here we go. 1858, Hamilton Smith patented the rotary washing machine. In 1874, William Blackstone of Indiana built a birthday present for his wife. It was a machine which removed and washed away dirt from clothes. The first washing machines designed for convenient use in the home. Oh my God, what an awful present. What an asshole. Bruh. Wow. The first actual, washing machine, to be compared to what we know of today as a washing machine, was built by a guy and presented as a present for his wife to do chores. Wow. I mean, yeah, it makes the chores easier, but at the same time, I mean, get her something else as well. I hope he did. Like a nice pair of shoes or, some chocolates or whatever. I don't know. Soaps, I don't know. Now that King's back, I gotta reread this to him, actually. Just as soon as he puts his headphones on, so hang tight. Waiting for the King. Dude, I gotta read this to you. You came back just in time. So 1858, Hamilton Smith patented rotary washing machine in Pittsburgh. So then I was just looking some stuff up and all that jazz. And I see here, 1858, Hamilton Smith patented the rotary washing machine. In 1874, William Blackstone of Indiana built a birthday present for his wife. It was a machine which removed and washed away dirt from clothes. This guy invented the washing machine and gave it as a present on her birthday. What an asshole.
Nice.
Happy birthday! Here's some way to do your chores. I was like,
The
wow,
first one.
gee. I mean, it's cool in one way, but at the same time, it's kind of like a jerk move,
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Moving on up into 1859, steam clipper Royal Charter was wrecked on the coast of Anglesey in Wales in a storm that took down over 100 vessels. Approximately 450 passengers and crew were killed on the voyage returning to Liverpool from Australia. It says here, in total, the storm itself took over 800 lives. That is insane, man.
Oh, yeah, it's wild.
Yeah. 1860, during the unification of Italy, the expedition of the Thousand ended when Giuseppe Garibaldi presented his conquest to King Victor Emmanuel of Sardinia. And this is something I'm not entirely sure if that many people know, some history about Italy. It's been unified twice. First under the Roman Empire, and then after, the Western Empire, fell and all that stuff, and the Eastern with Constantinople kept going for another 100 years or so. But Italy, reverted back into independent city-states and all that stuff, and then Giuseppe Garibaldi, here in 1860, wrapping up. When was Italy unified? When was Italy reunified? Post Rome. Unification of Italy. Here we go. 19th century political and social movement that in 1861 resulted in the consolidation of various states in the Italian peninsula and its outlying isles into a single state, the Kingdom of Italy. Inspired by the rebellions of the 1820s and 30s against the outcome of the Congress of Vienna, the unification process was precipitated by the revolutions of 1848 and reached completion in 1871 after the capture of Rome and its designation as the capital of the Kingdom of Italy. All right. So they kind of rebuilt Rome. That's pretty cool, dude. 1861, the Pony Express, from Missouri to California ended after 19 months. You'd think something, that would be so widely known because everybody knows about the Pony Express. But it only lasted not even 2 years, like a year and a half. Very short-lived for how famous it was. But maybe that's because of how, it needed it. Postage needed to be made, and the Pony Express was a thing, and the reason why it ended is the railroad came. They finally connected east to west and all that jazz, and trains are faster than horses, so yeah. 1863, Football Association was formed in England, standardizing soccer, splitting with rugby. All right. So, the creation of football or soccer, as we know out here in the West, which soccer as a term, as a word, as a sport was invented in the United Kingdom and, Britain, as was the imperial system that we still use. Us former colonists still use the imperial system of measurement, which England used at the time, I believe, and at some point they converted to metric, and then they turned around and started mocking us for using their very creation. Hey, wait a minute. That's not nice. Oh. Kind of,
hey.
Yeah. What else do we got here in 1863?
International conference begins in Geneva aimed at improving medical conditions on battlefields. Beginning of the Red Cross.
All right.
Red Cross.
Yeah. Despite what it is and, today and all that stuff, how all these, government organizations like the UN and NATO and all that stuff, despite how they are today, they did start off, with good intentions, but, the path to hell is paved with good intentions, but at least they did, some good things in the early days. So, gotta give credit where credit is due, and maybe one day, things will go back to the way they were in certain aspects, and, have the people of the hurricanes of the East Coast gotten any help, or is the government still impeding them in every possible?
I heard we're still I heard the FEMA was still holding money from Hurricane Katrina victims, let alone anybody else.
Yeah, so there's no hope for Lahaina, I guess, either.
And they sit there and they 2 months ago they were literally bragging about using FEMA funds to help these illegal immigrants they just run across the border.
Yeah.
And then now they're saying that they never said that, even though they recorded saying that a lot. So they're trying to claim that there's no money left, even though they receive $20 billion per year to help with disasters and whatnot.
I want to cry, dude. Like, this is fucking miserable.
They get $20 billion a year, but they don't got no money for these people.
Oh, let's move on. I gotta get my mind off that, dude. Like, you know, out there, people, viewers, you know, now you guys know if you didn't know. They can spread awareness. Like, that's the only way things can change. The greatest weapon humanity ever has and ever will be is knowledge. So, 1864, what do we got?
1864. Sorry.
Bless
UN troops ambush and kill Bill William T. Anderson, known as Bloody Bill, near Albany, Missouri.
He was a Confederate guerrilla leader. With a name like Bloody Bill, he sounds like a killer. I don't want to tangle with him.
1968, White.
Wait, what? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
White. How about, okay.
This sounds like
this?
propaganda.
How about this? 1968, terrorists kill several people in St. Bernard Parish, LA.
Louisiana. Yeah.
Louisiana.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
my new goal.
We can't see color?
I'm not saying I see killer.
People
I'm saying that's
are
the way it
people.
should just be worded.
People are people. Doesn't matter.
People are people.
Doesn't matter what they look like. We're all human. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I could be referring to hair, no hair, who knows? We're all human. Like, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you, Golden.
Hey, welcome back.
King, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Nice. So where are we at? 1873.
We are now in 1869 here.
Okay.
1869, first American steeplechase horse race at Westchester, New York.
Yeah.
First
Nice.
one, huh?
Yeah. Actually, you missed it. We had the first U.S. election. And it was a whole
really?
thing, yeah. Like, actually, I'll scroll up really quick. I'll reread it for you. Because it's the first U.S. election. So, I don't mind rereading it. Where is it? Here we go. That's not it. Hold on a second. There we go. 1824, first presidential election in U.S. history where the popular vote was important with 18 states. Choosing presidential electors by popular votes. Andrew Jackson won the most votes, but was short of a majority, forcing a contingent election in the House of Representatives, which John Quincy Adams won.
Wait a minute. It's saying the majority vote. I thought we had always gone to what do you call it?
Electoral? No.
Yeah.
No, electoral
No,
was brought in because
that was created later.
Yeah, electoral
Right?
was brought in
Yeah.
because otherwise certain cities
We realized what we were doing was
yeah.
off.
I thought it was in the Constitution from
No,
the
they
original
added it
get-go.
later. No.
Holy
No.
cow.
No. They didn't realize,
Yeah.
But what's obvious today is
Yeah.
obvious because what they
The
figured out
electoral
back
is, realizing the error of our
then.
Yeah.
previous ways.
Yeah. Well, we are the United States, so all states have to be represented.
Yeah.
Yes.
Otherwise, everything would rely on
The
Los Angeles, New York.
The East Coast, West Coast would rule everything.
Yeah.
And the flyover states are just that, nothing but flyover.
Yeah, they would have
No,
no
can't have it.
representation.
Can't have it.
So, let's get back here though. 1876, South Carolina Governor Chamberlain sent a company of federal troops to quell racial disturbances in Kanehoy, and that's post-Civil War and all that stuff. So there's some things happening. Here we go. 1881. We've been here. Where it is. Gunfight at the OK Corral. The most famous shootout in the Wild West occurred between lawmen, including Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday, and the Cowboys, with Tom and Frank McClary and Billy Clanton killed. We've been there.
Yeah, no, we saw a reenactment of them. Quite honestly, as fun as that was, I would have rather gone down in the silver mines and checked them out.
Yeah, I wanted to do that too, and I was kind of disappointed. But you know what?
Well, we didn't have time for both.
Well,
we were there for one day.
We are planning on maybe going back to Arizona at some point. I'd like to because I'd like to go check out where the Granite Mountain Hot Shots, last stood.
Oh, yeah. That's
out
right.
There.
Although that's a long ways off from Tucson.
Oh yes, and that's a huge thing. And we have other plans to coincide with that. Visiting a family member, maybe, I don't know, but maybe we can spend go up there, do some things, and then maybe go down. And spend 4 or 5 days in Arizona, go up, check that out, and then go back down, check the silver mines. And what I also like to do, because I gotta look it up, when we were down there at the Air and Space Museum over there by the boneyard.
Yeah. Well, that was really good.
Well, I don't want to go back there.
Right.
Well, I'd like to go back there, not this. I know.
Yeah, we got a show. Come on, we can talk later.
But they're building a tank museum.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So I think it might be open now. So, anyway, what do we got here in 1890?
1890, Mauricio Viaduct in Chile, the first time the highest railroad bridge in the world, was inaugurated by President Jose Manuel Balmaceda. Okay.
Jose Baklava. But yeah, here's a picture of it. That's pretty cool. This was 1890?
Oh, wow.
Wow. Here we go.
That's a hell of an accomplishment for 1890. Wow. Look how tall that thing is.
I can open this bigger.
That's nuts.
Wow, that's cool. And they have a little archway over here, too, and a couple over. That is awesome.
No kidding.
That is
Still
awesome.
standing, huh?
Woo! 1890.
I love that old photo, too.
Yeah. Man, that should have, that should have been today's thumbnail.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah. 1892?
Southern Horrors Lynch Law in all its phases, first published by American journalist Ida B. Wells in Memphis, Tennessee.
All right. Yeah, awareness needed to be made.
Yeah.
About what was going on. So. 1901 here, we have the first recorded use of a getaway car occurred after holding up a shop in Paris.
Ooh, a getaway car.
Yeah, 1901. I mean,
I wonder if before that they had getaway horses.
Well, of course. Have you not seen any westerns?
Just getaway. Yeah.
1903, Yerba Buena was first key system ferried across San Francisco Bay. All right.
All right.
Isn't Yerba Buena around here and all that stuff? Like there's yerbas and buenas and.
We got a lot of buenas, but I don't recall Yerba Buena.
Yeah. 1905, the first Soviet or Workers' Council formed in St. Petersburg, Russia. Uh-oh.
Not good.
Here we go. And 1905 as well, Union of Sweden and Norway ended. This dissolution was recognized by King Oscar II. Sorry, I had to. Then, what do we got here in 1909? Oh.
Ito Hirobumi, Resident General of Korea and former Japanese Prime Minister, is shot and killed by Korean nationalist Aang Jun Guin in Harbin in China. In Harbin, China.
Yeah. So he was China was occupying Korea, or Korea was part of China at the time, and he was Resident General of Korea.
Okay.
And then they killed him.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to be occupied.
No.
So.
What a surprise.
Yeah. What else do we got here? You okay?
1912, Serbian troops overrun Skopje Uskop.
All right.
Also in 1912, Woolwich Foot Tunnel under the Thames River in England opens.
That's interesting. A tunnel over under the river, but it's foot
Huh.
traffic. Like
anything.
In 1912, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the London Underground is, I believe, the most extensive, and I mean, that was the first one, like the tube, the metro. They were the first underground in the world.
Yeah, could have
Or
been.
something like that.
Oh, I don't know if it was the first, but I don't even know the year, but it wasn't anywhere 1912, I don't think.
Well, let's see here. First subway,
Oh, subway isn't under a river, though.
but it's underground.
Yeah.
But I mean, like the first underground, the first under river. Yeah, 1863.
Okay, that's a subway. That's not going under a river. Way different.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Go ahead,
true.
move on. Doesn't
Whatever. In 1916, U.S. sex educator Margaret Sanger arrested for obscenity. She was advocating for birth control.
Yeah, she is.
A controversial figure.
And here's the irony with her, and I know people aren't going to like me to say this, but she was an absolute racist, and she was trying to annihilate the black society.
Ah.
And that's why she came up with abortions and the legality of them.
Well, we all know about.
Now they look at her as a hero and a great savior. No.
Well, we all know how that system has
It's
greatly contributed to the
right.
degradation of that whole community.
Yeah, the black community has suffered tremendously for it. It's not growing.
Like ask Thomas Sowell about how he grew up in Harlem, where the community was strong and they were reliant on themselves because no police would cover them, so they had to be self-reliant.
Yeah.
They can go to bed without locking their doors now because Big Daddy government came in, with all their welfare and all their this and that and abortions and look at them now, And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But look it up yourself out there, people. Don't fight me. Look, do your own research and figure it out yourself. I don't want to fight. I just want to make things better for everybody.
Everybody. Yeah, that's the key. Everybody.
We got to recognize bad for bad. The path to hell is paved on good intentions.
What do you got?
1917, World War I. Brazil declared it was in a state of war with the Central Powers. Which was Germany, Yugoslavia, Italy, all that stuff. 1918, Cecil Chubb gave prehistoric monument Stonehenge to the British nation. All right, so
what? So it was privately owned?
It was privately owned, yes.
Which makes sense. It would have been, yeah.
Well, I think that it was his land. He discovered it, and then and all
well, I don't know if
stuff.
he discovered it, but it was his land.
Yeah. We also have Germany's Supreme Commander General Erich Ludendorff resigned, protesting the terms to which the German government had agreed in negotiating an armistice. Now, here's the thing: we have a discrepancy. From the other source, we have Erich Ludendorff, Quartermaster General of the Imperial German Army, was dismissed by Kaiser Wilhelm II for refusing to cooperate in peace negotiations. So it says here Commander General versus Quartermaster General, okay? And then this is when he resigned or dismissed. So which was it?
I don't know.
So
we have
a discrepancy. We have two discrepancies.
Yeah.
What was his actual rank, and then how did he lose?
Well,
his job?
I don't even know the difference between a quartermaster and a whatever general.
Well, quartermaster general would be more for logistics, and commanding and all that stuff. Like overall stuff. Commander general would probably be like a guy out in the field. Out
so
there.
Which would be a higher rank? Do you think? I have no clue.
I don't know.
Okay.
I think
so they could be the same rank, different
equal,
sit. Yeah. Yeah, well, okay.
Or maybe he was both, but it's just different wording.
Yeah.
So,
but the other one is different. One saying dismissed, one saying...
Yeah, he quit. So that's the bigger discrepancy of the two. But anyway, 1919, U.S. President Woodrow Wilson's veto of Prohibition Enforcement Bill was overridden. Okay.
So he vetoed it and they came back and it was overridden.
Yeah.
They got the 2/3 they needed.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. Prohibition Enforcement Bill. Okay, so it's enforcing prohibition.
Yeah.
So he didn't want prohibition, and they still passed. So on a rare occurrence, I actually agree with Woodrow Wilson, because prohibition was a big mistake.
Yeah, it was.
So, 1922, Gertrude Bell appointed honorary director of antiquities in new Department of Antiquities in Baghdad, Iraq. Origin of the Baghdad Archaeological Museum. That's cool. Mm-hmm. 1922 as well, Italian government resigned under pressure from fascists led by Benito Mussolini.
Ooh,
yes.
like
Benito Mussolini, he wrote a letter to the king, the Kingdom of Italy or whatever, saying like, hey, you will pass your powers or we will take it, essentially. Like, he did one of those.
Yeah.
And he backed up his promise. They marched on the freaking steps of the castle and they took it, So the power is in the people. And sometimes the people are wrong, but still.
And eventually the people took care of him.
Yeah, well, they figured it out. It took them 20 years, but, hey, better than 30. So, what do we have here in 1923?
1923, Dutch government of Rugist de Berenbrock resigns. And 1923, Dutch second chamber rejects fleet laws. 50 to 49 vote. Ooh, that's a close vote.
Wonder what those fleet laws are.
Wonder what that even means.
Well, they rejected the laws. Like,
But
there
a
was...
fleet law, is that a particular law meaning something? I don't know.
Well, let's see here.
I have no idea what a fleet law would mean.
Let me just do a surface level scratch of this article then. I think you have something to do with military, fleets, or commercial fleets or something. So let me see. Control F. And what was this? What year? 1923. 1923. I'm not getting anything. So.
Okay, well then maybe someone can let us know.
Yeah. Hold on. What is a fleet law? Vehicle tracking laws. Definition vehicle fleet. Okay, maybe that's U.S. or something. I don't know. If anybody can figure this out, let us know in the comment section. What else do we got here?
Belgium stabilizes current value of francs. Francs become one belga.
So
they're trying to stabilize their currency. It looks like they're pegging it to the franc.
Yeah.
To stabilize it.
Mm-hmm. 1 decade later, in 1936, the first electric generator at Hoover Dam went into full operation. Ooh, yes.
Sweet.
Yes. 1 year later, 1937, Nazi Germany began expulsions of 18,000 Polish Jews.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What year?
1937.
Okay.
Yeah, but they weren't done with them. 2 years later, 1939, on the exact anniversary, Polish Jews were then forced into obligatory work service, work camps, slave labor, all that stuff. So, awful stuff. In 1940, RMS Empress was disabled by a German bomb off Ireland's west coast, sunk 2 days later, allowing most passengers to survive. All right, so that was lucky.
Yeah.
Because a bomb hit them,
Especially if you were on that ship. Damn lucky.
Yeah. What else do we have in 1940?
The P-51 Mustang makes its maiden flight.
All right, yeah, that's one of the more famous aircraft in the history of aviation. The P-51 Mustang.
That is an American.
Yeah, no, that was our main fighter in the Pacific War.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess I just never knew what it was.
Yeah, no, this was our response to the Zero.
Yeah.
And then we got faster, stronger, better in every way, and then they couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we had a massive manufacturing might that we didn't even realize we had till it got unleashed out of necessity.
Well, one of their top leaders, or commanders or whatever, I don't remember who it was. Was it Yamamoto or Hirohito?
It was.
It would have been Hirohito. Hirohito was the emperor.
You're talking about on the battleships, the aircraft carrier, right?
We have awoken the dragon.
Yeah. When they attacked Pearl Harbor.
Was that Yamamoto? Because he was the admiral.
I believe, yeah. Whoever the admiral was, the one that said that.
Who said
he was right?
We have awoken the dragon.
Sleeping dragon.
Yamamoto, yeah. It's Soraku Yamamoto, sleeping giant quote. The sleeping giant, the dragon.
He was right.
Yeah, he was. 1942, what do we got? Let me find it here. Oh, you might.
Battle of Santa Cruz, Japanese naval offensive against U.S. forces near Solomon Islands.
Yep. On the script here it says, Battle of the Santa Cruz Islands during the Guadalcanal campaign. One U.S. aircraft carrier was sunk and another was heavily damaged, while 2 Japanese CVs, or carrier vessels, the actual designation for aircraft carriers, by the way, and 1 cruiser were heavily damaged. All right. 1942, 4th day of battle at El Alamein, Australian breakthrough. Oh, crikey. Battle of El Alamein
Yeah.
being one of the greatest battles, in World War II, a turning point to our, the
Out
Allied
in the desert,
side
yeah.
in the Africa campaign.
Yeah.
So, what do we got here in 43?
1943, World War II, first flight of Dornier Do 335 Pfeil.
Huh. Never heard of that. Let's see. I might have seen it. Huh. Whoa, what the hell? Aerodynamic. Look at that thing. Bruh.
Jeez.
It looks like a bullet. Oh, it's a Nazi one. Okay. It's a German aircraft. Well, that explains why it's all like sleek and everything.
Man, they were so far ahead of the rest of the world technology.
Wow. Well, it has a back propeller too. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even see that at first. Like, yeah. So
Oh, wow.
it's wow. So it's just like it's turning the world into a tube. It's 1944. That's an awesome aircraft. Wow. What do we got here in 44? It's off of main source. So, if you have the script up.
Yep. During World War II, the Battle of Lee Gulf ended with an overwhelming U.S. victory.
All right. We've been speaking about the Battle of Leyte Gulf a couple of times, the past several days. So, this is when it ended. Now we got a double one here. I'm going to take this. 1947, Maharaja of Jammu and Kashmir acceded to India. What does that mean? Well, from the other source, we have the partition of India. The Maharaja of Kashmir and Jammu signed the Instrument of Accession with India, beginning the Indo-Pakistani War of 1947-48 and the Kashmir conflict.
That's still going on today, that whole Kashmir region. The two of them are still fighting out that.
Yeah.
And it got real serious a couple years ago with both of them having nukes.
Yeah, you're right.
Pakistan and India.
Yeah.
And they were really threatening to use them.
Yeah, meanwhile, China is just kind of trickling in, on the mountains, everything. They're going in, like, clearly over the border. They're on Indian land, and they're building military facilities. Like, it's like a molasses invasion or something. They're doing it, but slowly.
And have you ever heard of Kashmir wool, some of the finest wool in the world?
Yeah, cashmere.
Yeah.
Like, like the rich people wear that. No, it's cashmere. Ugh, look at me. What do we got here in 1947?
The British military occupation ended in Iraq.
All right. What were they doing in Iraq? 94, probably after World War II,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What were we doing there? What were they doing there? Yeah.
Well, I mean, after World War II, getting out of there, but by 47, that's that seems about right. It's been a couple of years, so yeah. But we got back in. That's the problem.
There you go. That's what I'm yucking about.
Yeah, and I know exactly what you're talking about. 49.
U.S. President Harry Truman increased minimum wage from 40 cents to 75 cents.
Gee, thank you. Devaluing our dollar. It sounds good, but
Out of curiosity, what's the minimum wage in Iowa these days? Any idea?
Minimum wage Iowa. 1173.
Okay, we're trying to.
Wait, no, that's Alaska. Hold on a second. Go away, pop up.
I think it's 7 something.
Iowa 725. So it's federal.
Yeah.
We got a deal on our ballot in November. They want to make it up to $18 minimum wage.
Wow.
It's still $20 for food industry. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it'll go to 19 the year after that. Are you kidding me?
It's 16 right now. Man, dude, I remember when it was 7. Like
Hey,
Yeah.
I used to be way over the minimum wage, working for $1.65,
See-
and the minimum was $1.25.
See, we're stuck down here. Everything is raising but the minimum wage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get back on track here. 1950, 630 Dutch volunteers departed for Korea. So during the Korean War.
Yeah.
The Netherlands are getting involved now. That makes as much sense as North Korea being in Ukraine, which is happening. 1950, Mother Teresa founded Missionaries of Charity in Calcutta, India. All right.
Mother Teresa.
You want to talk about someone who's like, seen hell? I mean,
Now she is officially a saint, right? Yes, she
I
is.
believe she is. Yes. Now, like, let me explain something to you. She was born August 26, 1910, in Skopje, Albania, Ottoman Empire. What happened when she was 4 years old?
1914. What?
World War One.
Oh, okay.
She was born and lived her childhood in the heart of the most hellish war ever conceived by mankind.
Yeah.
No wonder she was a humanitarian.
Trench warfare.
God. Awful stuff. 1950, South Korean troops reached Chosin at the Chinese boundary. Yep. Our push up there, and then they pushed, and then NATO fully got involved, and then we balanced and made everything kind of moot.
Still a war today. Just a
Still
ceasefire.
in a state of war, just in a armistice. Like, not really an armistice, but a ceasefire. What's an armistice?
Good question. I don't
Let me
know.
look this up. What is an armistice? Treaties to end wars. Okay, so it's to end a war. So they're not in an armistice. They're in a ceasefire. All right. What do we got here in 1951, good Sir King?
Emily Zatopek runs world record 300. Wait, 30,000. Wait, yeah,
Meters.
30,000
Meters.
meters.
Yeah.
25,000 meters and 15 miles.
Yeah, they're running track and field events.
Yeah.
Like the 10K, the 4K,
Yeah.
and the 15-mile marathon. So, here we go.
1951, Winston Churchill re-elected prime minister at the age of 76.
Oh, all right.
Kind of toward at the age of 76. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is. I was going to say kind of toward the end of his whole career, but
Yeah.
76. Yeah.
Yeah. We've had, and I was just watching something earlier about talking about there was a golden age of world leaders, and they were usually in their late 60s or early 70s, and all that stuff. Oh no, we're watching the Joe Rogan podcast with Trump.
Oh.
That's what we're watching, and that's where I got it from. Trump's saying that and all that stuff, talking about the golden age of world leaders and all that stuff. And so they're talking about his age. He's going to be the oldest person in U.S. history elected. If or at least not elected but running. Because he's like 3-4 years younger than Biden.
Yeah, he's 78, so he'll probably be older when he's done.
Yeah,
But I think he's not as old.
he's the oldest person to be running.
So how old's Biden then? He's in his 80s.
Well, yeah, but he's not running.
No.
He ran last time, which is what I'm saying. It's been 4 years, and Trump is 3-4 years younger than Biden.
Okay.
So he's caught up, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah.
So he's the oldest person, who'd be running in our history. So that's what the media is using.
Here's
to
what's
question
amazing,
him,
and it's all hearsay, obviously, but it's a general consensus. I heard it so many times. Nobody can keep up with Trump as far as energy and going.
Dude, it boggles my mind. He apparently only gets 3 hours of sleep a night. But let's get back to the history here. What do we got? 1952, Pakistan's first Test cricket win. Mahmood, 12 wickets versus India. Well, it's Pakistan's
I
first
thought we were
win.
going to make it today. Cricket.
Well, I have to put it in. 1953, Great Britain performed a nuclear test at Emu Field, Australia. Gino Bob the Emus, praise be to Space King. That's what you get, Emus, for winning the war against Australia. We never forget and we never forgive. Exterminatus! What do we got here in 1954?
Chevrolet unveils V8 engine.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now we got V12s, V16s.
Yeah,
Is there such a
V8
thing as a
still.
V20?
I don't know. But V8's still the engine of choice.
And if you only get a V6.
Although they have 4-bangers like crazy now, so everything's different now, so I don't know what the hell.
But you know what? Even if you get a V4, you know what you can do?
I hate to ask. What?
Oh, look at me. Look at me. I could have had a V8.
I knew I didn't want to ask.
We have another 54 here.
Say, Tristi returned to Italy.
All right, that's pretty cool. 1955, British troops occupied Saudi Arabian oil field at Boryami. Why? Well, for the same reason. For God, gold, oil, and drugs. Like why are they occupied? Why is British in Saudi Arabia? 1955, Ngo Dien Diem proclaimed Vietnam a republic with himself as president. So he just basically took the power. So that kind of sounds like a dictator move there.
Yeah, proclaimed himself. That's what it is.
Yep. 1955.
And he had the guns behind him.
Yeah, well, I mean, he did kind of, take it. He was not a good guy, but he wasn't a communist. Yeah. So, 1955, after the last Allied troops left the country and following the provisions of the Australian Independence Treaty, of the Austrian, so the Austrian Independence Treaty, Austria declared that it will never join a military alliance. But haven't they joined NATO or the UN or the EU? Aren't those all military alliances to some degree?
UN? Well, yeah, they do have a military.
The UN has a military. A peacekeeping force, so to speak.
The EU doesn't have a military. The EU does not.
The EU?
That's all economics.
Okay. But NATO, is it?
NATO does, of course.
Yeah, so is Austria in NATO? Is Austria in... Let's look it up. Is Austria in NATO?
I don't believe it is.
Let's see here.
No.
Austria-NATO relations. So let's see here. Austria and the North Atlantic Treaty have a close relationship. Austria with Ireland, Cyprus, and Malta are the only members of the European Union that are not members of NATO. Austria has had formal relations with NATO since 1995 when it joined the Partnership for Peace program. So they're in NATO light, essentially. So they're NATO adjacent. So that's
NATO adjacent.
That's still kind of
no, it's not though.
No. 1956. King, you want to take that one?
Vietnam promulgates its constitution.
Now we got another one here though, just above it. We skipped over it.
Oh yeah, 1956 UN's International Atomic Energy Agency statute approved.
Getting involved in the nuclear stuff. Un Mas 56 off of main source here. From the scripts.
Yeah. '56. I must have missed that. Hold on.
And I'm gonna end us at the hour because I am getting violently hungry. Speaking of Hungarian people,
during the Hungarian Revolution in towns of Monsangan, and Esztergom, Hungarian secret police forces massacred civilians as rebel strongholds in Budapest held fighting spread throughout the country.
Yikes. So the Hungarian revolutions.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 1957, the USSR fired Defense Minister Marshal Georgy Zhukov. No, not Georgy. He was the leader of the Soviet or the Red Army during World War II. Yeah. He made a couple appearances in the movie Death of Stalin, and one of his quotes was I killed Hitler, I can go after this or something like that.
Huh.
So. 1958, Pan Am flew first transatlantic jet from New York to Paris using a Boeing 707, the maiden flight of the aircraft as well. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
1960, MLB, American League approved existing Washington Senators moved to become Minnesota Twins, and two new expansion franchises, Los Angeles Angels and Washington D.C. Senators. 1961, the 1961 season schedule grew from 154 to 162 games. So the creation of the Angels, we were just talking about them the other day because of the World Series yesterday.
Yes.
So
I'm trying to think of the cowboy movie star that owned the Angels initially. I can't think of his name.
Who first owned California Angels? Let's see here. Gene Autry?
Gene Autry. He was a cowboy star and all that. Anyways, He went to wherever they were organizing this and going to try to get owners. He went there to promote. He wanted to get the contract for his radio station to broadcast the Angel games. That's why he was there.
Oh,
And
wow.
no one was stepping up to buy the franchise, and they talked him into buying it.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
wow.
a good idea.
Gene Autry, yeah.
Yeah.
First owner of the Angels.
Nice. What do we got here in 61?
First test flight of Saturn launch vehicle.
All right. 62.
Nikita Khrushchev sends note to JFK offering to withdraw his missiles from Cuba if U.S. closes its bases in Turkey. Offered, it's rejected, and JFK warns Russia that the USA will not allow Soviet missiles to remain in Cuba.
Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday.
Yeah, we were. I mean, like, they're offering to withdraw, and we said no.
And the most powerful one. We were the more powerful country. We said no, get them the hell out of there. They wouldn't.
So you're going to risk the annihilation of the entire planet just because of that, freaking flex? Are
No.
you kidding me? Are you mad?
No. No, we coerced them to back down. Had it kept on going, who knows what would have happened? It wouldn't have gone to nuclear war, I don't believe. But
I don't know, man. Sometimes we just gotta back off and stop being so goddamn stubborn. Just realize that we're all people. Yes, some people view things.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of glad we don't have nuclear warheads in Cuba pointing at us. That makes me feel a little more comfortable.
Well, do we have nuclear warheads in Turkey still pointing at Russia?
Probably.
So
I don't know. Turkey's not much of a friend anymore, so I don't know.
I don't know. At the end of the day, nobody wants this crap. So
No.
what right do we have to put it on others? It's not right.
Let's move on.
1964.
Eric Edgar Cook becomes the last person in Western Australia to be executed.
Yikes.
Oh.
Hmm.
Last death penalty, huh?
Yeah. Now, what's interesting, I was thinking about this earlier today as well, but the year the first Star Wars came out, when it was just called Star Wars, before Episode 4 or any of that and all that stuff, that was the same year the last execution by guillotine happened in France.
Whoa, by guillotine?
By guillotine.
They were still doing it?
Same year.
Jeez.
And actually, I think it happened after Star Wars was released. Or actually, no, it was the same day or something. It was something weird. I don't know. So,
Same year is enough.
Yeah.
All the same day.
I kind of want to look it up, but for the sake of time, we got to keep moving on here.
Yeah.
1965, Queen Elizabeth decorated the Beatles with medals, making them members Order of the British Empire (MBE) at Buckingham Palace. So, all right. 65 is
Not knighted, but they're
yeah,
honored.
no, they're honored.
Yeah.
65, Sylvia Likens tortured by teen girl gang. It's telling me to look that up, but I want to keep on going and all that stuff. But if anybody wants to look that up and tell us, things in the comment section, don't get too graphic though, please. But that'd be nice. Like
Tortured by Rogaine.
by a teen girl gang. What the hell?
I don't know.
What? That, girls can be nasty. 66, first Pacific communications satellite was launched until Sat-2. All right. 66 as well, U.S. aircraft carrier Orisani caught fire at Gulf of Tonkin. 43 people died.
Ooh.
And I believe this was the Gulf of Tonkin incident
Yes.
or something to validate, which later it was revealed, like in a FOIA, Freedom of Information Act request upon this, in the 90s. Confirmed there was no North Vietnamese, anything involving the Gulf of Tonkin. It was, they used that as a scapegoat to get us involved in the war. Oh, look, they attacked us. Ooh. No, they didn't.
We were
They lied.
involved before 66, though.
No, as allies to France, we fully got in after the Gulf of Tonkin. So, or when was the Gulf of Tonkin? Hold on a second.
66.
Was it?
That's what that article's saying. It's 66.
64.
Okay, 64. That's different.
Okay, so
that
this is
that
something
goes
else.
with what you're talking about. Okay.
So this is something else. This is not the Gulf of Tonkin incident, but I still wanted to bring that up.
Yeah,
you know?
no, you're right.
People need to know
64,
that our government
I'll go
lies
with you
too.
100%.
So, what do we got here in 67? If you want to take this, good sir King.
In 1967, Shah of Iran Mohammad Reza Pahlavi crowns himself after 26 years of the peacock on the peacock throne. So he waited 26 years.
Huh. Peacock throne. I want to see what this looks like. Okay, yeah, that's definitely a peacock throne. Holy crap, dude! Like, Reddit. Okay, of course it's Reddit. So, what? I'm afraid to go to Reddit. So, this is
What is Reddit?
It's an awful place on the internet. I don't even want to describe it. It's a terrible place. Yeah. Wow. Look at that.
Wow. Talk about peacocking.
Man.
Dude, not even the Emperor of Mankind and Warhammer 40k would sit on that thing. You're like, whoa, that hurts my eyes, dude. That's almost like looking into one of those blue LEDs. Let's move on.
Shah of Iran.
Yeah, this guy that eventually was overthrown and couldn't find a country. You know, just
we take him in.
Hot potatoed all over the planet. 1960.
We took him in.
Of course we did. We're a bunch of wimps.
We also are the ones that brought him down.
Typical. Oh man. What do we got here?
Indirectly, we did.
First European satellite launched Euro 1 at Cape Kennedy.
All right. And we also have. Oh, we have
1968.
Holy crap. Go ahead.
Future world heavyweight boxing champion George Foreman wins Olympic heavyweight gold medal when the final against Jonas Sipulus, Soviet Union, has stopped in round 2 in the Mexico City games.
And now he sells grills.
It sounds like he was kicking his ass and he had to come in and he's going to kill him.
He was one bad dude.
Yeah. 1968 as well, Japanese gymnast Anikori Nakayama won 3 individual gold medals on one day.
Wow.
Horizontal bar, rings, and parallel bars at the Mexico City Olympics with team victory, 4 golds for the games. Dang.
3 events in one day. Do you know how physically taxing that is?
Jeez. That's why it's in the show.
Yeah.
And I gotta recognize.
We just gotta give her kudos.
Yeah. You know, let's give her an applause while I slowly die from, All right. We also have another 1968 here. We got the Japanese gymnast swept the medals in the men's floor exercise competition at the Mexico City Olympics. Sawao Kato won his 3rd gold of the games ahead of teammates Anikori Nakayama and Takeshi Kato. All right, so some Japanese men's stuff, like just dominating. We also have Soviet Union launched spacecraft Soyuz 3 later to achieve the first Soviet space rendezvous. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Which
that's awesome.
Another 68, the Soviet Union wrapped up the volleyball double at the Mexico City Olympics. Both men's and women's teams took the gold at the end of their respective round-robin competitions. And it is the hour, and I would like to continue personally, but as I said, I'm hungry, and I think we all would like to kind of wrap up for today. We've been doing pretty solid this week, so.
All right.
So let's go ahead and wrap this up. Tomorrow I would like to go longer, though, honestly, but. That will conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar in the description below for any links you may be interested in, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. So much history has and continues to be made on a daily basis, and we can only bring you a portion of what we add. Please check out our sources. There's a lot of stuff. You'd be surprised. For your dose of Bass Events Daily, we stream every day, at 11 in the morning Pacific Time, 12 noon Mountain. What time Central?
12?
No, 1.
1?
Your time zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 Central, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. We do have other shows from history to news, movie reactions and reviews, gaming, videos, and memes, Omni Kitchen, and everything else between on Talk Show. Once again, check the underbar. For all of you and all of us, I am Alexander.
King's Refuge.
Golden Loon.
And you, viewer, thank you so much for coming by and checking out our stuff. And until you see us next time, whenever it is, wherever it is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, especially one-ways. And rate 5 thumbs and subscribe. Toodles!
Hoorah!
Deuces.